Cory Booker shuts down gay rumors on the Wendy Williams show. Hi, welcome to JOA. If you're new to my channel, please click subscribe and click the bell button so you'll be the first to know when I upload.
Right, let's talk about her.
Oh, I'm afraid now. By the way, I talked to her in the green room. She her father, she's not here now. Her father's about to go into surgery. He loves you.
Oh.
He said this, quote unquote, that he thinks you're hot.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Oh. Hi, Mr. Dawson.
Yes.
I'm single now.
Yes, yes. And he said you're single and fierce. These are his words.
Oh,
yes. Yeah, he really has a lot of respect. Both of them do. They're big fans of you.
Well, don't sit here and butter up. If you become president, will I get a ticket to the White House for once?
Look, okay, stop right now. Let's make a deal. Let's sincerely make a deal.
Okay.
Because I do not think you value yourself.
No, I do.
You do, good.
But I don't beg. Like, I don't beg people.
Beg.
You know what I'm saying?
So
like,
how about you and we have a double date in the White House, me and Rosario and you.
And me and, nope, I got the perfect person.
Who's that?
I'll tell you secretively.
Okay, good.
And he'd probably be a perfect person for you to entertain for something else.
Okay.
If you win. Oh, yes.
I am intrigued.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I am intrigued.
I'm out here.
We should break some news tonight.
No, look. How did you meet her?
Well, we met at a fundraiser for a guy named Ben Jealous who was running for president.
Ben who?
Ben Jealous was his name. He was running for governor, excuse
Jealous.
me. Ben, he's a great guy. He's a former head of the NAACP.
Okay.
Really special man. But that was just, we were both, I think, not really looking at that point. But we met again. I have a lot of gratitude to Sarah Silverman. She had a party and she...
I like her. She's funny.
She's just also a really righteous soul. She's very special.
Yeah.
And so we met at a roof party that she had. And
the roof was on fire.
The roof was on fire.
And so do you go up to her and say, hi, I'm Senator Booker? Or do you just lock eyes for a, like, how does that work?
So I have a lot of confidence in a lot of areas, but I tell you, I did not feel confidence when I asked for her phone number.
And what did she say? Did she look you up and down and say, here?
No, it was, I remember this very clearly. I walked up to her, it was the end of the party. We had already talked a little bit and people were drifting out, but she and I were kind of lingering. And I walk up to her and I said, well, how would I contact you if I wanted to get in touch with you? And she goes, oh, you're asking for my phone number.
So you're like shy when it comes to the women, but really confident when it comes to politics.
I am very confident when it comes to fighting for people and my community, whether it's Newark or anything. I will stand up to on any issue. I have a lot of confidence when it comes to justice and opportunities. But this was a shy moment for me, definitely. But she was merciful and
Will you
gave
marry
me her
her?
phone number. I have hope. I have hope.
Okay, so Cory Booker was actually talks about when he went out on a date with a woman, I believe in the early 90s, and he wrote that in his column, I believe, while he was in college. And he talks about how he reached for a kiss to kiss the girl, and he put his hand on her breast, and the girl actually like moved his hand away. And that was really the almost close enough to being, you know, if you want to go there, you know, forcefully doing something to somebody without their consent. So that's right there. That's assault right there. But they actually became friends. It's funny that Booker basically told Wendy that he has confidence when it comes to politics, but when it comes to a woman, he doesn't have confidence. But to me, when you are kissing a woman and you are at a young age, and you are basically getting your hand and putting it on her breast, is that not confidence? Is that not, you know, taking control? To me, when you're confident, you are basically in control of the situation, or at least you feel like you're in control of the situation. So to me, that was a whole bunch of BS that he told Wendy Williams. Cory Booker was also accused of sexual assault by a guy, and I'm gonna say allegedly because, you know, he hasn't really talked about this, but I 100% believe the guy who's talking about this. And I'm going to read you basically an article that the guy published, but he published it anonymously, and I'm going to read like 3/4 of it. So basically, I believe this whole situation, let's just say it was at some type of like speaker series, and the guy met Cory Booker, after, let's say, the speaker series ended, and he complimented Booker and in terms of him being an ally of an LGBT community, and the guy who is gay basically told Booker that he admires him, and he also admires that he's part of the LGBT community. And here's what he wrote. Here's a description of the incident as I describe it to a lawyer. And the guy's basically saying Cory Booker sexually assaulted me, and why it won't matter to the Me Too movement, which is basically sad for someone to say that. He wrote, I stopped to use one of the building's single occupancy restrooms. Upon washing my hands prior to leaving, I heard knocking on the door. When it comes to these restrooms, it is customary to knock first in case someone is using it, even though there is an inner lock. When I opened the door, Mr. Booker was there. He smiled and very gregariously said, hey. We engaged in some brief idle chit-chat in the entryway, and then he asked me to speak in private. What happened next happened so fast that it was hard for me to comprehend what was going on. It was one of those surreal moments where what was happening was such a deviation and such a perversion of one's natural daily routine that I hardly knew how to react. He pulled me into the restroom. So Cory Booker pulled him into the restroom, albeit not too forcefully, and slowly pushed me against the restroom wall. He said that being a hero was a serious turn on, as the guy complimented him. He continued, the Senate appreciates fine citizens like you, especially this senator. He then put his left hand on my groin, over my jeans, and began to rub. I seem to remember saying something like, what is happening? It was a bit like having vertigo. He then used his other hand to grab my left hand with his right and pulled it over to touch him. At the same time, he disengaged from rubbing me and used his left hand to push me to my knees from my shoulder for what was clearly a move to have me perform oral sex on him. At that point, I pulled away quite violently and told him I had to go. I did not see him again before he left. I 100% believe this guy. I 100% believe this guy. And I don't believe him because Cory Booker is... Okay, so for number one, the man is, not in a, relationship. That's not the reason why I don't believe him. I just believe him because, you don't lie about this. You don't. And the guy wants to be anonymous. You don't just lie about a situation like this. And number one, number two, so there's a lot of titles nowadays. There could be a guy who's dating a woman or a guy who's married to a woman. But at the same time, you do have this underlying curiosity about yourself, about being with a man. There's such thing as that. And to me, I 100% believe this guy, 100%. Because number one, let's put the pieces to the puzzle. Cory Booker is very private about his personal life. That's number one. Number two, on Wikipedia, Rosario Dawson, who is his girlfriend allegedly, who I just, is obviously his beard. According to Wikipedia, she was on TMZ at one point. And that was in March of 2019. And Rosario Dawson said, yes, Cory Booker and I was in a relationship. That's past tense. Number two, you can't lie to an audience. Like when at least 75% of people are commenting saying, oh, I thought he was gay, or I thought he was this, or I thought he was that. You got to kind of question it. And I'm going back to this guy, I 100% believe him. There was actually a situation in my area, a local politician, who's very known, where I live in my state, and he's married. His wife was pregnant, and the guy was seeing, allegedly was seeing multiple high school kids. And the story that came out was about a man. He's a man now, but at the time he was 17 years old. So this was 3 years ago. and the politician actually basically bought him some underwear, and he wanted him to wear it. And the way he met this person allegedly was because he met him through a friend, that set them up. So the guy allegedly been with multiple boys, and it was just on local news, and you can just tell that this shit was true. The guy came out, and he wasn't anonymous. Like, he was not anonymous. Yeah, at the same time, the 17-year-old at the time was wrong because he knew what he was doing. He knew the guy was married, but he felt like he was taken advantage of down the line, so he reported it to the press. So I 100% believe this. And you guys, Rosario Dawson is actually under a lawsuit with I'm assuming the guy, who worked for her is the news wrote Rosario Dawson and her family sued over alleged transphobic assault. So the guy, I believe the guy was a woman. If I'm not wrong, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. And he came out as transgender, as a man. And once he told that to Rosario Dawson's family, because I believe he was a butler or a nanny, like, I'm confused with the label and the terms. And once he told Rosario Dawson and the family that, they started, calling him, the wrong pronouns. They started assaulting him. They wanted him kicked out of their home because they were supplying him, like, with room and board and working for them full time, and he was actually a friend of the family. But once, allegedly, all this is alleged, but it's on, like, it's in the news and stuff like that. Once, like, the person told him, hey, I'm transgender, that's when everything went, like, haywire. And I'm going to show you guys a little picture of it. It's on the screen. I'm sure you see it now. But you guys, do not vote for this man. Don't vote for this man. This to me, based on what I'm reading or what I'm seeing, to me, this is a whole beard situation. And a beard basically means that you are using a woman to basically supply, your hidden sexuality. So, and to me, I'm not for one to out somebody, but when it comes to you are president of the United States, and this is already out there on Twitter and everything about, the guy who's anonymous and everything. But dude, I made one mistake by not voting last time, and we got this man in office called Trump. I'm not about to make a second mistake and have this bald-headed, hidden guy in the White House. Like, there's one thing where you want to basically be discreet and not, like, tell people who you really are with your sexuality. But to me, when you use a woman as that, and then at the same time you're running for the president of the United States, which is basically the most powerful man in the world, I have a fucking problem with that. So don't vote for him. Do not vote for him, please. All right. Anyways, leave me a comment below and tell me what you think below. Also, please don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so you'll be the first to know when I upload. Deuces! Yeah!